Okay, the Architectural Review Board of the Town of Southampton will now come to order. Welcome to the November 5th, 2024 meeting. Ms. Doyle, the ARB attorney, would you please read the legal regulations for this meeting?
Yes. Good morning. In accordance with the Town Board's adoption of Local Law Number 14 of 2022, the Board's meetings are being held both in person at Town Hall and by a video conference through Zoom webinar. The link to participate in this meeting by Zoom can be found on the town's website at the Town Clerk's Agendas and Meetings portal. You can also watch the live stream video and submit written comments through the town website. For anyone attending by Zoom, if you wish to speak during the meeting, please click the raise hand icon. If you're here in person, when your application is called up, you can come up to the table. As a reminder, just please state your name and hamlet of residence for the record. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Doyle. Everyone, please rise. Mr. Rump, the Vice Chair, would you please lead us in the pledge?
Certainly. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, and liberty for justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Rump.
It's my pleasure, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Mr. Jankowski is absent today. Mr. Burke, would you please fill in for Mr. Jankowski?
Sure.
And go through the roll call and notify us if we have a quorum.
Sure. We'll do Mr. Wright.
Present.
Mr. Tagliavia.
Here.
Ms. Keys.
Here.
I'm here. Mr. Jankowski's absent. Mr. Rump.
Here.
And Chairman Cherier. Here. We have a quorum.
Thank you very much, Mr. Burke. Did the board members that were present at the October 15th, 2024 meeting read the minute, go over it, review the minutes? Are there any errors or omissions?
I saw none, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you. None? Then do I hear a motion to approve?
I'll move.
Do I have a second? Motion is made and seconded to approve the minutes of October 15th, 2024. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you very much. They're approved. And is there any old business to come before the board? If none, then we'll start with the published agenda. The first item on the agenda is a site plan review, 1456 SRR LLC. This is 1456 Spionk Riverhead. Is the applicant available? Thank you. Would you please come up, state your name and your association with this application?
Hi, I'm Susanna Herman from N Consultants, 1319 North Sea Road, Southampton. I'm the agent for the application.
Right. Okay, would you present this to the...
Sure. So this is in the LI industrial zone, and we are proposing to take down the existing single-family residence that's there and build two buildings that would be used for special trade contractor use on the site.
Right.
Building A would be 14,500 square feet. Building B would be 10,150 square feet. We provided architectural plans, a planting plan, a lighting plan. They would be metal buildings. They've tried to spruce them up a little bit with the facade materials.
Okay, Mr. Tagliavia is going to take over as the lead for this project, so...
Do you have any questions? I don't know how much...
Well,
yeah, if you could just go over the actual materials on what is going to be on the sidewalls and the roof.
So, like I said, it's a metal building. Exterior, the darker color is the roof material.
Mm-hmm.
The lighter would be the walls, and then there's a masonry veneer, which would be like sort of a brick-like pattern on the bottom half of the building.
Okay.
It's sort of as an accent to try to break up the monolith of the metal building.
Okay.
So they tried to make it look attractive, but it is gonna be two metal buildings for special trade contractors.
Right.
As is typical in that area,
Mhm.
just driving around looking at the other properties that are similar uses on that same street.
Right.
How about the window and door colors for the frames?
The plans say aluminum and glass storefront, thermally extruded aluminum storefront. Number one, insulated glass, medium style doors. The frame color to match the burnished slate.
Okay.
And do we have the planting?
Yes, you should have the plantings plan.
Right, that was my next question.
Yes. It's all natives. There are dumpsters, if you look at the back, I don't know how clearly you can see that, but there are dumpsters that are screened with red cedars. And the rest, which are in a row to be screening you.
Mhm.
The rest is a mix of oak, native shrubs, maples, native grasses.
Can we go back to the site plan?
So
The dumpsters, are they on the
the
bottom right there?
dumpsters are, you can see the trees surrounding the dumpsters.
Right,
yeah.
okay.
It conforms to parking and height
Right.
restrictions and everything.
Okay.
Okay, I mean, I don't see any issues here. No,
Okay.
not for this area. It fits.
Okay. Mr. Rump, comments?
I have no issues, Mr. Chairman. I think the facade upgrades are more than adequate for the LA 40, industrial district. I think is a good.
Okay,
So it's where it's supposed to be.
good, thank you. Ms. Keys, comments?
I have no issues with this.
Okay, Mr. Burke, comments?
No issues.
Mr. Wright, comment? And I don't have any issues. The only question I do have is, this is in an industrial area. Usually,
Can you
No,
make them not talk?
the roofs are
We just
usually
try to-
white.
Hold on one second, we just can't hear if anyone in the audience is talking, sorry.
Oh.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Usually for, like environmental reasons and the transmission of heat. That's why usually, my question is just asking why they didn't reverse it, having the buildings in dark and the roof in light. Is there a reason for it, or,
Not that I know of.
okay.
I think they're just trying to make it look nice.
Yeah,
and
I mean, it's
different.
fine, I think it's fine as is, but that was the only question I had.
Okay.
The other buildings in the community have black roofs,
Black?
dark roofs.
Oh, yeah, there.
They're all right.
No, it doesn't matter. I mean,
Light
I
versus
still am
dark.
gonna approve, you know,
Okay.
so,
I think that the debate's still open as to, it depends
See.
on your climate, whether or not light or dark roofs.
right, that's what I was wondering about, so.
Yeah.
Because that came up with a situation in Bridgehampton, this is about 2 months ago, where they insisted on a light roof because of the environmental situations, but that's,
We
there.
could have a whole discussion about that.
I know, but this
But
isn't
as
the
long as
place.
you're
Th-
not
No,
objecting to my project.
but I agree with Mr. Tagliavia and Mr. Rump. I think it's gonna add a lot, and I appreciate the way you did this,
All right.
and they designed it. Okay, what is gonna happen is, since this is planning board, a transmittal letter will be sent to the planning board with our comments
Okay,
on it, so it's approved,
okay,
as
great.
far as we're concerned.
Okay.
Right.
wonderful. Thank you.
And thank you very much.
Good luck, Suzanne.
Yeah.
Thanks, have a good day.
Okay, next we have
Same here.
Bucel Properties for LLC, and this is at 1368 Spionk Riverhead Road. And on this, would you direct to the board and to Mr. Wright. He's gonna,
Richard Wasowski, the Rayner Group, agent for the applicant, 860 Montauk Highway Watermill. The applicant's just proposing a 5,000 square foot addition, well, not an addition, separate building on an existing improved site. It's gonna be a metal engineered building, the exact same specifications as what's already existing on site. It's gonna be a light stone facade, and then the roof is going to be fern green, which matches what was previously approved
Right.
in 2016, I believe. That's the inside. That's a spray booth. They're for their special trade contractor that deals with windows and glass. So that's what that is. I don't think that's really necessary here.
Can you go back to the aerial? And you said there was something there already?
Yeah, there's an existing special trade contractor. It's Southampton Architectural Glass. That's their manufacturing and fabrication building.
And they're
And they're just putting in an additional one that is more specialized.
right there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mhm.
I guess it would be northeast corner.
And it's matching what's existing already?
Correct,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I have no issue, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Wright. Mr. Rump, comments?
I have no issues. What West Hampton Glass did is a pretty handsome building there now, so I have no issue.
Right, I agree with you. Ms. Keys, comments?
No, I think it looks fine, thank you.
Okay. Mr. Burke, comments?
No comments.
Mr. Tagliavia?
No comments.
Okay. All right, on this is another from, referral from the planning board, and a transmittal letter will be sent to the planning board with our comments, which I don't have any comments either. I am agreeing with the lead for the area, so it'll be approved, as far as we're concerned. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Richard. Have a good day.
Right. Okay, next item on the agenda is Moritz Only, 93 East Montauk Highway, Hampton Bays. And Mr. Tagliavia, you're the lead, and this is in your area.
Okay.
And is the applicant present?
Applicants are present.
And would you come up and list your name and your connection to the application?
Absolutely.
Okay.
My name is Doug Houston. I'm from Paylor Houston Architects. I am the architect representing the owner. I am Sean Lusberg, the owner.
Okay, thank you.
Need my address? Okay. Well,
I'll help you. Hold on.
Yeah, well, we've got it online, anyway.
yeah, okay. We can look online and I'll just have it close to you guys if you need
Yeah.
any better view.
Well, this is why we have everything digital, because we can see it and the public sees it too.
So not having control of the mouse. But okay.
Well, I think Ms. Doyle does a great job.
Yeah.
She does.
Okay, so we have a medical cannabis dispensary. Non-medical cannabis dispensary. This is an existing retail bank that's being converted to the non-medical cannabis dispensary. We have interior improvements as well as exterior improvements. I'm going to focus on the exterior
Right.
at the moment. You're looking at a rendering here from Montauk Highway. What you're seeing in this photo, and I can address each of these individually, is a monument sign in the front of the property, a wall sign on the existing mansard roof. You are seeing, if you don't mind zooming in a little bit to the building itself, exterior wall sconces, which will be dark sky certified, fully shielded fixtures.
Downlit.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay.
There's also some lighting under the eave of the mansard roof that's washing down.
Yes.
We have not designed the parking lot as of yet. We're in the planning board. We haven't gotten comments back from them. We want to understand the extent of the parking lot renovations. But if and when we do that, we also understand the lights need to be fully shielded lights in the parking lot as well. So we have some indications of what those light fixtures would be. Thank you. While you're here, and then I'll go back to the rendering, you'll see the tile, a sea green type of tile, and you'll see the wood lattice. If you don't mind going back to the rendering, on the bottom of this rendering, you'll see a skirt of tile. So we're looking, the existing building is brick, it's red brick. There's a portion on the left-hand side that was an existing drive-through window that cannot remain with the cannabis use. So we'll be bricking that up, but now we have a whole sea of mismatched brick. So the intent here is to paint the brick facade and tile the skirt of the building to have kind of a base holding that. The colors are on the prior page. If you want to step back one page. Same PDF, just back one page. And on the right-hand side, if you wanted to zoom all the way out, we have a few images here. So we have Benjamin Moore colors. I got a family of green. The mansard roof will be painted that dark green. I think it's called satin fresh. I have a hard time seeing the words. The middle band would be the lighter color. And we're also looking to place some film, obscure film, on the windows of the facade. And we have two things we're doing with the windows. In the front, we're looking to add some decorative mullions to the window to make it look more industrial-like, with that obscure glass so that you can see shadows inside, but you're not necessarily seeing the product that's inside. And that would be on both the front door, which is a new front door, on the three bays to the left. That third bay from the left is a new front door. You can see the examples of the obscure glass. This is someone right up against the obscure glass. So as you move further back, that image becomes just not discernible. On the sides of the building, there are some areas in which we would like to put a shadow box behind the window. So we'll put either some light colored paint or some mirrored material so that you won't, it'll be opaque. You can't physically see in there. But we'll still put the obscure glass on the outside so that there's consistency of the glass type around the building. And so we've designated that with the cross hatches. So if you look at that second elevation down, the left window has a crosshatch and a shade. So that is a combination of a shadow box, basically construction built directly behind the window, and the obscure glass film on the outside of the window. The window on the right is just the obscure glass film because that is open to the sales floor. And we do want the customers to have light coming in on the sales floor. I guess there's similar treatment on all the doors and all the facades with the film. You'll also see the lattice work. So we did want to introduce a green element on top of the lattice work along most of the building, not all sides. The back of the building, we're gonna not do that. But anything exposed from Montauk Highway, you'll see a combination of glass, call it ivy, growing on the side of the building, with the exception of the front facade. So front and back, no. Both sides, yes, for the ivy. You're also seeing on the right-hand side the monument sign dimensions. So we're
Okay, we have to handle the signage separately.
Sure. Okay.
Because just the building.
Okay, you got it. So if you don't mind going back 3 pages to the site plan. Thank you. And if you don't mind zooming in on the far right site plan. So what you're seeing here is the parking plan in which there's an existing asphalt driveway in order to accommodate the transition yards that are required for the medical cannabis. We're restriping that parking lot to bring all of the parking stalls within the boundaries of where that needs to be. In the front of the building, there's a 1, 2, and 3. These are our handicap stalls.
The parking is all gonna be going through planning and engineering.
Yeah.
They wouldn't get it.
Okay.
Yeah,
We're just looking at the building.
yeah, we're looking at the building and the landscaping.
Okay, great. So then, I think I've maybe described the building as well as I could.
Right,
Yeah.
no, that's fine. And
Okay.
Can you just let us know the materials of the roof? They're existing?
It's an existing metal mansard roof. There's some portions that have to be repaired and
Right.
replaced.
Yeah, the building's in pretty bad shape.
Yeah. Again, the painting idea is to basically heal the seams between the new and the old. The brick, the metal. We want to give that as fresh of a look as we can with the existing materials.
And the materials and color of windows and doors?
Black frames on all of the windows and the doors.
And is there the landscaping? Can you go back to the site?
Yeah,
plan?
so if you go back to the site plan, if you don't mind, we have, are you looking for screening and all the screening, all landscaping?
yeah, well,
All right, so maybe we can start in the rear. On the back right, there's a trash on the back right of the parking lot. You see double doors that are sitting there.
Yeah.
There are some hedges on the back side and the side of that. Should move down the front. So we have some landscaping buffers in the front yard, the first 20 feet. And this will refer us to another attachment you had open, which was the landscape plan sketch and the proposed materials. So on the plan, you saw that there was an ingress and an egress driveway. So between the property line and the driveway, and the driveway and the property line, these are the materials that are proposed to be planted in that area in front of the sign. Is there a third page on that, ma'am? Thank you. So there's a species, plant list, and then a plan which is illustrating where those would go.
Great.
So as far as the aesthetics of the building, I mean, it's a major improvement to what's there. It's a rundown building. Certainly want to upgrade the finishes and get rid of the destructive materials that's been sitting there vacant for quite some time. Are you doing anything with the fence? There's a stockade fence in the back that's in pretty rough shape as well.
Yeah, so there's a 6-foot requirement for whatever reason, because that requirement's been around for a long time. Whatever reason, when the bank did their fence, they did a 4-foot fence, and I think probably the reason is there's a retaining wall back there. So technically, from the grade on the back side, the residential side of the retaining wall, they're more than 6 feet for most of that fence. But then when that retaining wall disappears and we're back on grade, they put a 4-foot fence there. So to satisfy the planning board, we're going to put another 6-foot stockade. We'll have a transition between the 4-foot that's on top of the wall to the 6-foot that's required, which will basically be behind the trash area.
Okay. And there is quite a bit of buffer between Carvel and then also Bank of America. You're going to keep that existing?
All of the naturally wooded areas will stay, especially notably the one to the residential that's behind us. There's at least 50 feet of wooded area back there. Carvel maybe a little less, maybe 10 feet of wooded area, and then the bank next to us is.
Right. Well, Carvel did a great job sort of revamping the back, the northeast of their property. So I just want to make sure you guys do the same in terms of the improvements. I don't see any issue with it. Just like Mr. Chairman had mentioned, you will have to issue both signs separately, separate applications.
Okay.
But as far as the building goes and the landscape, I don't see any issues.
I agree with the lead on that.
okay, well, Mr. Rump, comments? And would you comment on the landscaping?
Yeah, the only thing I think you got to consider is you talk about English ivy. It's an invasive species, and it's illegal to plant. So you might want to just figure another vine.
Okay.
All right, and I don't know. I don't think they're even selling it anymore. This was a site when I started my career 40 years ago. I did for North Fork Bank.
Yeah.
So I'm very intimately involved with this in the beginning. But I don't have any issues with the plantings that were chosen. The only thing that it just says preliminarily, these monument signs for the town are just to identify place. They're not for advertising. So I don't know what it says. You know, it says what, Mott's Greengrocer.
Could you zoom in on that sign?
Whatever
You're talking
it
about the
says.
text and the language on
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
It says legal cannabis dispensary.
Well, that,
Okay.
we wouldn't approve that, I don't think, at least I
No.
wouldn't. So I just wanted to give you that comment, so when you come back, it's, you know, we don't do this again,
Yeah.
Well,
kind of thing.
Mr. Rump, we can do, after we go over the building, we can do a separate, just preliminarily, of the sign.
Right.
So you can get an idea where the board is
Okay.
on this.
That's the only,
Okay.
those are
You
the only
agree with
comments.
that?
Where we got that
Yeah.
from was like the regulation with the state. You know,
Well-
like basically the state kind of said like you can only have your name and then like cannabis dispensary, like some sort of descriptor.
We'll discuss the sign. Let's finish with the building first.
Right.
that law? Is that like
Okay.
federal, just
Well-
real quick?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, we'll go over it. Okay, Ms. Keyes, comments?
I agree with everyone so far, including the information on the sign and
Well,
my.
we'll-
Okay.
Later.
All right.
Okay.
So I think it looks beautiful.
Okay. All right. Mr. Burke, comments?
No issues.
Mr. Wright, comments? And I don't have any issues with the building. I think it's gonna be an improvement, because this is kind of an eyesore right now. So, okay, on this, the building, since it's a site plan, a transmittal letter will be sent to the planning board with our comments. Now, because you do have the sign there, we will go over a preliminary review of the sign just for you, so that you're not gonna waste your time on this. Okay, and Mr. Tagliavia, since this is in your area.
Sure. So what I'd advise is we limit to just the name of the company or the organization, not advertise what you are selling. Also, you should have the number, the street number for the fire department. And then in terms of the lighting, just follow the code requirements for the lighting in terms of backlight and downlighting.
Can that sign be lit up there?
It can be lit, yes.
Okay.
But not upwards.
Not
It
upwards.
has to be downwards or backlit.
Or backlit, yeah,
Down backlit, I would presume.
okay.
Lastly, the number I mentioned, and then also you're limited to a number of colors that you can use, but you would meet those standards. You're not mixing too many colors. Those are my comments. Similarly with the sign on the building, it looks like there's some text to the right.
So that's just greengrocer.
Follow the same protocol with just the name of the company.
Okay,
That's all.
that's all. Mr. Ron, comments?
I'm interested in what the state is, because the state is all over this stuff. I know
Yeah.
that, because we're dealing with another site in Bridgehampton. What does the regulations mean? Do you have to have that on your sign? If you could bring that, if it's necessary.
Yeah.
You know, we can't, do something that the state is making you do, so we don't wanna put you in that position.
Okay.
So if there's some
Yeah, I can bring
literature that you can give us and
Sure.
to substantiate what you have to do, but we try to limit, the wording on signs, again, to identify place.
Okay.
And sometimes we run into opposition to that.
And if you have to have that, maybe it can be placed in a different area,
Right.
something like that,
The
but
state
in
might-
the,
Making the
Why they
window.
have it
State
is
to
they
require
want to
it.
They might
identify,
allow it, but if the town, I mean, Kelly can opine, I'm sure that the town has control over that. If the state permits it to say cannabis dispensary, but the town code could supersede that.
Well, it depends on
Local.
if it's permitted or if they have to have it.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
it's just a case in which the state permits it.
If they just permit it and then the town doesn't want it, then.
Yeah.
See, I don't know
Then-
enough about it.
Yeah,
We'll bring the
Yeah.
regulations to
Right.
you. And when you say identify place, just to clarify, if I did a survey of our neighbors down on Montauk Highway, Carvel says Carvel. it doesn't say Carvel, America's favorite ice cream, right?
Right.
So the America's favorite ice cream is what we don't want.
Exactly.
If Green Grocer was part of the name, it's their brand name, that would be allowed to be on
No.
the sign.
Not always.
Okay. So
Yeah.
what's identifying place? I guess I'm trying to understand the word that we're trying to get to. So again, if the store was called Mott's Green Grocer, I don't know how you cut that out.
Well,
if that was the,
I'll give you an
No, it's
example,
concrete.
one that went all the way up. Lexus, if you go on County Road 39, you've got Lexus, you've got Mercedes-Benz.
Okay.
They changed the name of the company. And that's how they were able to put Lexus on there, or Mercedes-Benz.
Okay.
Because it's Mercedes-Benz of Southampton, Lexus of Southampton.
Okay.
And that's how. Otherwise,
of Southampton is the company's name. and they're
right,
allowed to
but
put
they
that
just
on
put Lexus on there and Mercedes-Benz.
there. Oh, interesting.
And that's how they did it. Because that conformed then to the sign code.
Okay. All right.
But all other regulations pertained,
And
like
have
the
you-
size and everything.
Sorry.
Yes,
Have you
go
looked
ahead.
at the sign code?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
So,
Yes.
Mott's Green Grocer is our name, of the dispensary. But we just had on there the licensed cannabis dispensary to kind of identify, I think what the state's rule was, is, they're dealing with it more, I think, in the boroughs in Manhattan, but there's a lot of unlicensed shops. So like adding that licensed cannabis dispensary shows, this is a spot to buy like licensed tested product, as opposed to the places that, the reservations that are not, kind of.
well, if you get the regulation, could you give it to
I can email
Miss
it in
Doyle,
advance,
have
sure.
it
Yeah.
sent to Miss
Yeah,
Doyle?
To Kelly, and,
Yeah.
and then we'll.
She'll
Definitely.
look over
She
and then advise
advises
the
us
board.
so well.
Right.
We need her.
So how
Yeah.
quickly can we come back for the sign? Is that
How,
month?
next meeting if you
next
want,
meeting? Okay,
Yeah.
great.
if you can,
Put it all together.
They have to go through,
what,
It's a separate application.
what,
planning board.
what, the sign?
The site plan has to go through planning board, the whole site plan.
Yeah, but the sign still comes to this board.
Yeah, but through a sign
The
permit
sign.
application, that's gonna get held up until you have site plan.
After the site
Yeah,
Right.
you should get through the
Site
site
plan
plan
is your
first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speed priority.
So we can't run that simultaneous to the planning board process?
Usually it comes
Yeah.
after
It'll
the site
get-
plan
Right.
approval, because they're gonna approve the sign location, because we don't do that, we just look at the graphic.
Right.
We can run that simultaneous to the building department process.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
and,
what you would do.
But being
But
here for
we-
the preliminary sign, you kind of got a vibe of what needs to be approved when
Right.
you walk in the door.
and where there's gonna be some problems maybe, but let me finish with everybody else on this. Okay. You went, now I've lost where we are. Okay, Ms. Keys.
I
comment.
think it's fine. It looks nice.
Okay, Mr. Burt,
Nothing further.
okay, Mr. Wright,
I think we set it off.
right, and that's the way I feel. I think we've said it all, it's giving you some preliminary direction of what might be. But when you do get the regulations, would you please forward it to Ms. Doyle?
Absolutely.
Okay, and that's it. The building is okay with us.
Okay. Great.
No
And that's a letter that goes to the planning board, they take that into consideration.
Absolutely.
The planning, when we eventually get the planning board approval, does that encompass then the architectural board
Now,
approval?
we got approval, but yes, that'll encompass everything.
But today is an approval from the architectural review board on what we're proposing.
Correct.
Great.
Because if they disagree with us, they're gonna have to have a large majority, super majority to override us, so
All right,
that doesn't usually happen.
great.
All right,
Thank you very
all
much.
right, thank
You're
you.
very
Thank
nice.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, good luck.
Thank you.
Okay. Next on the agenda is NRP Holdings LLC Lot 1. This is in 107 South Country Road, Quiog.
Mike,
Uh,
Mike,
What?
is this the application you're speaking of?
What? No,
No.
no, this isn't it.
That
No,
was 400.
Yeah, that was fun.
400.
Ms. Keys, you want to handle this for us since Mr. Jankowski's out?
Sure.
I don't know if they must have left
Those
it
are our
there.
copies, yeah. Those are our.
And would you let let us know, your connection with the application and names and,
Sure. Hi, I'm John Bennett, Bennett and Reed, 212 Women Lane, and Bob Coco from BHC Architecture, who's the project architect, is here with me today. This is a application for a 79-unit workforce/affordable housing development in Queog. You guys are probably all familiar with it. It's the property behind the Strebels Laundry. The town board, this is really obviously incredibly needed out here. I always, with my 5 kids, I always wonder whether any of them is going to be able to afford a place out here. So it's an interesting question. This is obviously very needed. The town board recognized this. They changed the zone for the area. And so there's 78 units and 1 unit for the in effect the manager. So you have 79 workforce/affordable housing. The town board saw this architecture. They saw the site plan. They approved it. Obviously, that doesn't constrain you, but I think it is a good indication that this is a result of a lot of public hearing, a lot of input, and the like. We're before the planning board for site plan review. One of the things that we're dealing with is we have all but the state funding, and that's teed up very well. But for some reason, the state wants to see the planning board approval as well. So of course, it's here since to you for the referral, and Sal is here to present and answer any questions. I hope I haven't been too wordy with my.
no, it's fine. Ms. Keys is taking over for the lead on this project, so.
Okay.
Any questions, Ms. Keys?
A couple. So what are the materials on this building?
It's hardy siding, cementitious siding. I see from the screen, the colors are not really representative.
That's what was confusing.
Yeah.
Well, this one is more like it.
Is that it?
Is this
So
better?
that's the right.
I think
What is that?
closer. I mean, these are standard hardy. It's cobblestone and timber bark, which are standard hardy colors.
Yeah.
And then there's trim as well.
Mm-hmm.
So the trim comes in, I think, like 4 or 5 colors, and one of the standards is this timber bark. So we're also cobblestone. So we're using it, in between the windows. There's the trim pieces.
Where is the cobblestone?
It's the field at the end of the gables, so that those gable ends, and then we're going to try and get an asphalt shingle that's similar to this. So it's more of a transitional design, but we're looking at really celebrating those gable ends, and then carrying the shake roof down with the sides of the roof.
What is the size of the building? How many? I mean, it's 78 units.
It's 78
There's
workforce housing units and 1 unit for the on-staff, for lack of better description, custodian.
But there's multiple units, there's multiple buildings, and some of them. So there's 3 different building types and a clubhouse, and the.
Okay, so do they look like this?
They're all in that vein, yes. The smaller buildings that are on this part of the site are a double gable instead of a triple gable. So
we had larger buildings, but the town and the planning staff that was advising the town board as well wanted us to break it up.
No, but do we have pictures of the buildings, all of the buildings?
yeah, I mean, I
How many of them are there?
there's 4 building types.
So how many buildings are there?
I think there's 7.
So there's 7 buildings.
And again, we had a couple. We were
So
doing it in
each-
small. We were doing it in a smaller number of buildings, but the town and the planning staff as well wanted us to break it up.
Some of them are repeated. So
Okay.
the smaller building is repeated. And then there's variations of those larger buildings in the fact that some have 3 beds at the end and some have 2 beds. So that's where the caps on the ends are
So
slightly.
there's basically 10 units in each of pretty much in each of the buildings, right?
No, there's 16 in in 1, 2, 3, 4 units, and then this has 8.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Do you have a landscape plan?
That was submitted as part of the site plan application. It must be on that. If that's not it, I think that's it
We
right
have it on
there.
the screen, right?
Yeah, it's right there. You can't read upside down. Kelly, can you just expand that plant list to the right
Yeah.
for me, please?
Let's see. What do we got?
In this,
Let's see.
RMS package.
Where's Strubbles now?
You know, the intersection,
Yeah.
you know, where Queog is, right
Oh,
after
yeah.
the,
I can't find it either on my Google.
yeah.
Yeah, you guys, it's coming, come right out of Quad, it's on the right.
No, I
hand side.
know where Strubbles is.
Oh, okay.
So this is behind you.
Behind
You
it.
can't see it.
There's a dirt road, but
You can't see
The
it from
dirt road,
Montauk
that's
Highway.
what that's what I
So
thought.
it's a flag lot?
No,
No.
it's Old Country Road is in the back,
Oh.
and that's where it's gonna be accessed from.
and you're not gonna see it from.
You're not gonna see it
So,
from
so then,
Montauk.
so
You're not
then
gonna see it.
it's,
If I may, South Country Road, and then there's a recently dedicated road, Carbon Lane, and then of course there's the main drag right
Yeah.
there.
Yep.
This is a private building.
And it's next to the right of that, to the west of it is the trailer park.
Park.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but, and like a car, like junkyard,
And then there's a
The
few
trailer.
other things, you know, back there, but I think, you
And
know,
also the town is requiring, we have open space, we've met the open space requirement for the subdivision, but the town is requiring parcels on either side of the development. On the
Right.
CPF, we're in
And it-
conversation.
it seems to me there are large setbacks for the buildings off the road
Enormous.
as well.
yeah.
And those, and I'm assuming that they want all of that treescape along the roads to be left.
Yeah.
You know, so it's, you know, it's,
There's a significant buffer.
yeah, there is around it, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, Ms. Keys, any other comments?
Thank you, Kelly.
I think the town needs this quite a bit, and so I think, I'm glad
Well,
they're
the
doing.
design.
The design is, I'm getting there. The
You're getting
design,
there, okay.
the design is fine. It's just fine, right?
All right. Mr. Rump, comments?
I have no issues at all. I think it's gonna be a great project for the community.
Okay.
It's done
Fine.
well.
All right. Mr. Burke,
I
comments?
agree with Mr. Rump.
Okay. Mr. Tagliavia, comments?
I agree, no further comments.
Okay. Mr. Wright?
I agree.
Okay. And, yeah, as long as you're maintaining screening and buffers, I have no comments. I think the design, it's sort of fitting with that area a little bit. So, you know, because you've got mostly industrial in that area.
Yeah.
So I think you've fit it as nicely as you can
Right.
with this, you know, with the constraints of going a transition from the commercial to the residential.
Yeah. That was what we were.
Yeah, that's what I figured you would do. So,
And Strubble's buildings, in terms of just the sense of place, they're not gonna change. They're
right.
just staying.
And Mr. Rump, you have no problem with the landscape plans and everything. So fine, this is another case where our comments will be sent to the planning board with a transmittal letter.
Thank you.
So, thank you. As far as
Thank you.
this board's concerned, it's approved.
Good luck.
It's been a
Thank
long,
you.
it's
Good
been,
luck.
it's been a long.
Yeah.
I can imagine.
So,
Thank you,
thank
Mr.
you.
Bennett.
Okay. All right,
All right.
all right, thank you.
Yes.
This concludes the published agenda. Is there any other business to come before the board? If not, do I hear a motion to
Motion
adjourn?
Mm-hmm.
That's not you.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor? Aye.
So I was thinking, aye.
All right, next meeting is November 19th, 2024. And everybody, if you haven't voted, remember to vote. Thank you. Thank you.